Thank you so much for the moderator and also the distinguished speakers from all over the world. What an interesting discussion we just had. Lots of ideas, lots of analysis, trends, and also useful information that I believe all of you can get as the business strategic plans for next year and years ahead. Since we are pretty much behind the schedule, I think we better move into second section right now, the next generation value exchange. On this section, we are very much honored to have Mr. 𝐴ភិរត Chief Digital Officer of SCG Cement Building Materials, to be the moderator. So please allow me to give a little bit of his background. Mr. 𝐴ភិរត is a corporate innovator with a degree in architectural design and master in computer science. He worked 12 years in the US as an IT consultant before returning to Thailand to join Thomson Reuters, IBM, and later on with KBTG. Mr. 𝐴ភិរត is currently served as Chief Digital Officer of SCG Cement Building Materials, or SCG CBM. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. 𝐴ភិរត and the speakers.
Hello, good morning, crab, everyone. I'm so excited. I'm telling you, I'm buying an EV right now. But before that, let's take it down a little bit. I mean, the morning session with Pidata was very inspiring. We look at all the macro trends and movements of the whole world. For this session, the second panel will bring you down to the earth a little bit, and then we'll talk about how to a little bit more. We'll show you best practices and lessons learned from some of our successful businesses to take it forward into the future, exactly how we can make it happen. But before that, allow me to give you some kind of a short introduction into the session to come. So the future, I believe is bright. 2022 is an opportunity for us. We have already passed all the challenges from the pandemic. So what is the future lines and what are the new normals, opportunities that we can take advantage of? During the pandemics, we have seen businesses survive and thrive the new challenges, SCG International included. As Pidata mentioned this morning, we wouldn't be meeting each other like this, if it were not because the COVID. So on the bright side, we adopt technology, trends, and new behaviors so that we can not just survive the challenges that we have to face, but also to thrive it after we pass all those challenges, so-called new normals. And this new normal is not going to be just meeting online, running event, streaming event online like this, but it allows for us to look at the new adoption, the new trends, the speed in which the technology is helping us coming up with new ways of doing business, of serving our customers. So all company, I mean, if you are smart after this, this should be the question that you ask yourself a lot. Are you going to be still needed after this? Business model-wise, product and service-wise. How can you remain relevant, right? Given the trend that all the panelists talk about this morning, how can you stay relevant? How could you make sure that you're not missing the trend, so to speak? And today, we have to go back to understanding what the customer wants, what they will want, in the near future. This is one of the very useful canvases that we've been using, before COVID, and it's going to be a lot more after this. This is called value proposition canvas. It's basically asks you to ask the customer or to ask yourself to understand the customer more. What are the jobs to be done for your customer? What are the pains under the new normal? And most importantly, what are the gains? And hopefully, you'll come up with some new value propositions to answer those, to relieve those pains and to help them with the gain. to give them more potential going forward into the future. So today I'm honored to have been asked to host this panel of three very successful businesses. Not successful in terms of financially necessary, but successful in terms of thriving the new normal and coming up with lessons learned of what we can achieve after the COVID with these new trends. The first being Big Thailand, the marketplace, the B2B marketplace of SCG International. The second one, as you already know, 𝐵𝐸𝐴𝐸. And the last one is from the SCG International itself from the Philippines. So let me introduce you to all of our four panelists. Our distinguished four panelists will start with the first, I think the only lady that we have today, 𝐵𝐸𝐴𝐸 Khun Ladana 𝐬𝗏𝘀𝘀, CEO and co-founder of Big Marketplace of the SCG International. Can we have the, okay, we have the CV for Khun Khwan or 𝐵𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸. Okay, the second one, Khun Jirapan from 𝐤𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸, the managing director of 𝐤𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 himself, coming with Mr. 𝐷𝐞𝐢𝐧𝐬𝐺, director of 𝐤𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸, and also the senior vice president and general manager of the consumer-centric business development division of Mitsui & Co. in Thailand. Okay, and the last but not least, Khun Phanuwath-Kanchanawat, the Philippines office manager of SCG International. Please give me, with me, give them a warm welcome to the stage of our four distinguished panelists. Okay. Thank you, Krab. Hopefully you can hear us and you can hear me. Now, we'll start with the lady first. First to come up is Khun Ladana from Big Thailand with the topic of enabling value exchange through modern e-marketplace. Khun Ladana, can you hear me, Krab?
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, P. Art.
Good morning, Krab. Looking good. So the question for you, Krab, how does Big enable the next generation value exchange for SCG International? What are the value propositions created for SCG itself and other parties in your ecosystem, including your seller and your buyers? Please go ahead, Krab.
First of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me for today. So let me start on this way. SCG International already have service to serve in terms of international trade. That mainly customer is manufacturer and big enterprise, but there is a room for growth in SME, which we never tapped in before. To fulfill this gap, we need to build a new business model to deliver best fit solution for B2B or B2B2C. That is SME stand for. When we talk about SME, there is small business but big contribution. 40% of GDP come from them. But there are many challenges in running their business. From starting point, there's just like limited access to supply, automatically for uncompetitive product pricing. Once they want to scaling their business, expand more product and service, they will have the high operational cost to getting and retaining customers. Liquidity is a major challenge for all SME. Money management is quite tough for them due to limited financing supporting. Once we look back in terms of operating their business to sustain in this situation of the world, is open market, it's very difficult to maintain their business among local and global competitors around them with high marketing costs that they have. Those are all challenges that all SME will confront. Once we go deeply in terms of just two verticals, automotive and agriculture, we will find some common pain of them. For seller part, they will actually main of the pain point is they need someone to help them to get into an effective online with efficiency cost. For brand principle, They will pain from the traditional disrupt from the COVID pandemic for around 2 years already, and digital disruption. The lack manpower and system to manage other channel because of actually they're starting with the traditional. And also for sure, once they jump into the online, they will have to like to manage the channel conflict between online and offline. A part of the brand principal as a seller, we also have a distributor and dealer as a seller. There are another pain point because of their small power of bargaining. So they will get high rate for the third-party logistics, especially in the tech. Third-party logistics is very important to do the online business. And moreover, they will enrich to new financial solution to serve their customer for as well. Apart from seller, when we discuss about buyer pain for as well. In Big Thailand, we have 5 focus segments of the buyer: fleet logistics, farming, auto fixing, reseller, and contractor. All of them have the main common pain is just like in terms of the unreached product and service that they want at the right time. Cancelling in terms of the expensive price, even though they have a lot of the volume. They fear for the fake product that have all around the online, because of actually the product that they need is just like very useful or necessary for operation, not just like FMCG. So they need the product comparison and choice. They need the cash on delivery. This is linkage for another fear for fake product. So they want to ensure that the product that they want is a real one, and then they pay it. And they request the fast delivery and don't want to hold the tight, just like high inventory in this situation. So for all complexity and pain point, Big Thailand will solve this problem with enabling all those of the things to them to modern e-marketplace. We enabling exchange of product and service in automotive and agriculture vertical, connecting fragmented demand and supplies as never before through multi-sided e-marketplace model. We provide growth for all stakeholders and simplify all transactions that you may see that is very complex. How we offering multi-value exchange? Big Thailand will facilitate and increase number of interaction among sellers and buyers. We add value to transaction via finance, big agent, and logistic model. In terms of finance, we will pay the suitable payment for their requirement, not only for payment gateway that easier for them can pay by mobile banking, credit card, or bank to bank, but we also provide more in terms of another payment solutions such as leasing, credit term, or installment. Apart from finance, let me jump into the logistics first because of this is the core value of the transaction. In the logistics service, Big not only provide service that just like make the people in our ecosystem quite happy. But anyways, we are in B2B. This is just like more need high touch than B2C. And almost of them are not familiar with the new technology yet. They are still in the traditional business. So they need someone else to facilitate and helping him to easier enter on board. So big agent model will happen in terms of it's just like outsource influencer to help the people and will build the density to create a network effect in our ecosystem. After running Big Thailand for 2 years, so let's see our feedback from our user.
ผมเชื่อว่าหลายๆคนหรือหลายธุรกิจเนี่ยเราพึ่งพาการขายในลักษณะออฟไลน์ channel มาแต่ฝั่งออนไลน์ที่เพิ่งโตเมื่อเทียบมากับการเติบโตของฝั่งออฟไลน์ที่มีมานานหลาย10 ปีเนี่ยยังเป็นสิ่งใหม่สำหรับเราและหลายธุรกิจนะครับโดยเฉพาะช่องทางการขายแบบโฮเซลดังนั้นคือสำหรับเราเนี่ยมันคือสิ่งใหม่ที่จะช่วยเปิดตลาดเพิ่มวอลลุ่มเพิ่มการกระจายสินค้าออนไลน์นี่แหละคือทางออกที่ทำให้เราได้กระจายสินค้าไปสู่มือผู้บริโภคได้มากยิ่งขึ้นครับเราไม่ต้องไปเลือกซื้อสินค้าตามร้านอะไหล่ทั่วไปเราสามารถดูในโทรศัพท์เราก็สามารถสั่งสินค้าตามที่เราต้องการผมว่าดีนะครับเพราะการสั่งสินค้ามาใช้เองแล้ว
มีการเก็บเงินปลายทางผมว่าดีและคุ้มเห็นของแล้วค่อยจ่ายตังค์ผมว่าก็โอเคฮะ
ซื้อรวมๆกันหลายๆคนนะครับมันถูกกว่าซื้อร้านข้างนอกอีกครับผม
เลิกงานมาเราก็เลิกซื้อสินค้าจากโทรศัพท์ได้ชัวร์ฮะสั่งของในเพจของ Big Thailand ผมว่าดีครับเพราะว่าสินค้าตรงปกไม่หลอกลวงประชาชนครับ
มีราคาที่ดีส่งไวแล้วก็ไม่เรื่องเยอะด้วยครับ
And this is just like our next chapter. We call the next big thing. We confident to winning in the two vertical, automotive and agriculture. To do so, advanced technology is required to invest for continuous evolution. For sure, created better customer experience will be the one who just like help us to increase customer lifetime value. To build network growth through leverage SCG network and strategic partner will help us just like how to be Big Thailand. This is just like how Big Thailand will be the next generation value exchange business for SCG International. If you guys want to know us more, we are very welcome to visit you guys or to visit us in our channel, Facebook, Line, and website. Thank you very much for this opportunity to sharing ค่ะพี่อาร์ต
Thank you very much ครับพี่ขวัญ That was Kun Lalana, the CEO and founder of Big Thailand Marketplace with the enabling value exchange through modern e-marketplace. So let's move on to our next speakers and the next topic for today. So Kun Jirapan and Kun Tajimi, your topic is maximizing liquidity with modern financial technology. The question for you is, what is the vision of 𝐸𝐥𝐨𝐵𝐸𝐬 in terms of enabling financial capability for SCG, its business partner, and our customers? What are the potential of 𝐸𝐥𝐨𝐵𝐸𝐬 financial technology going forward, especially after COVID and given all the new normals? The stage is yours ครับ
สวัสดีครับ
Okay ครับ You can hear us
สวัสดี
now
ครับ
right?
Yes ครับ
Okay ครับ Please go ahead when you
ครั
are
บ
ready นะครับพี่อาร์ต
ครับ Good morning ครับ and thank you for having us today นะครับ For further from the Big Thailand selling platform นะครับ You all may know that the three important activities in supply chain which are the physical flow, information flow, and of course the money flow. So in the money flow, the liquidity are the key essential for every business chain from now on. So in any B2B supply chain, the general pain point is the need in the capital funding or the working capital. I'm sharing the slide, right?
Yeah, it seems to be working นะครับ Please go ahead first ครับ We'll let you know. Please proceed.
Yes, and in the B2B supply chain, and the general pain point is the need in the capital funding or working capital to manage the cash flow นะครับ So SCG International, we had a new business idea generated from this pain point on how we can increase liquidity in the system to help our customer in ecosystem to have ability to grow นะครับ For instance, this is the example in the construction material business chain, which is our first study. We saw similar pain point in each tier with related to liquidity. And for manufacturers, they need business expansion with credit risk mitigation นะครับ And in the trade for the traders, they need capital credit for their liquidities. And for SME, it is very hard to secure lending from banks or trading partners. Then we built a new business to provide financial service for especially in B2B chain, while the other player in e-commerce platform mainly focus on B2C financing. So let me introduce 𝐸𝐥𝐶 นะครับ SCG International, we have no experience in financing business, but we have seen opportunity. So we and our best partner from Japan, who have lots of experience in finance business, which is Mitsui & Co. and Credit Saison, who is the biggest and the leader in finance market in Japan. So Siam Saison started in 2019. Our vision is to be the leading fintech platformer with the value services. We are not traditional finance, but we going beyond that. Now our service providing the dealer, contractors, sub-dealer and manufacturers in Thailand, both in SCG and outside. Within 3 years, we lend to our customer more than 900 million Thai baht. We grow more than double in each year. And Tachimi-san, do you have any comment on our background, krab?
Yes, sure, 𝐭𝐴 So first of all, I would like to thank you, SCG International people, for inviting us to this event. So Mitsui is one of the largest Japanese trading house and investment firm. And as 𝐭𝐴 said, back in 2018, we have started discussion with SCG about digital transformation, DX. We discussed how we can accelerate and contribute to DX in Thai construction industry together with SCG. At the same time, we explored how we can utilize data that was available but not fully utilized, so that we can create new ecosystem and make our movement viable and sustainable. Eventually, we invited another partner called Credit Saison. Credit Saison is one of the largest credit card company in Japan. They have issued 36 million credit cards in Japan, and so they could bring deep financial knowledge to Siam Saison. So finally, we established Siam Saison in 2018 with SCG and Credit Saison. Then thanks to a lot of support from each partner, we have launched several financial products that is suitable to each valuable customer. That is not like one size fits all type product. We adjusted and customized our product depending on structure of supply chain, business environment, and customer situation. Our journey has just started, and we believe Siam Saison could expand our business and coverage more and more, consequently contribute to DX and growth of Thai construction industry. So let me hand it back to 𝐭𝐴.
Yes, krab. Thank you, krab, and Tachimi, krab. As you can see from the slide, also we have our existing and prospect partner, krab. Mostly in the right now is in the construction material business, krab. And from Siam Saison, as Tachimi-san said, that we using our data, the data to evaluate the credit line. And we are the proposed two-sided fintech model by retrieving the data from both marketplace and from the customer, mainly in 3 categories, which are financial data, transaction data, and other data also to analyze, and then use our credit score system to initiate an appropriate credit line for each customer. Our credit line will be adjusted from time to time and flexible, depending on the customer situation and real-time data. And the model will generate both liquidity for customer and also reduce risk to seller and increase the chance of expanding business. Another thing is that we may say that we are buy now, pay later services for B2B2B. And what makes us different from other players that from our unique credit score, that we use platform data rather than financial data. It's also easy to track status and providing dashboard for sales. And we also provide customized seamless integration system to each partner. And we have variety of products, both full paid and installment. So for the benefit for our stakeholder is like for customer, they have opportunity to expand the business and better cash flow management. And for seller, they will have higher chance to sell, lock-in customer, lessen financial burden, and also reducing the risk. And this is the example of our platform that we built it and with the Rudy technology to develop the whole loop system, starting from our order issue until confirming the credit use and dashboard for monitoring, which design based on each customer journey. And how about the technology from Japan, Tajimi-san?
Okay, sure, 𝐿. So what we have brought to 𝐵𝐸𝐶𝐚 from Japan are mainly two parts. One is deep financial knowledge, and second is integration of system. For the first part, so one of the key components of our business is credit scoring. We have established our own credit scoring model with financial knowledge from 𝐭𝐸𝐧𝐶. And 𝐭𝐸𝐧𝐶 has accumulated such financial knowledge through their huge operation of credit card business in Japan. Then we adjusted and localized the model to our current business and market situation in Thailand. And we have incorporated several static and dynamic data into our credit scoring model. We still continuously fine-tune our model to improve operation time to time so that we could offer better solution to customers. For the second part, so we developed in-house loan management system to monitor and control our loans to customers. That is fully customized for construction business and our product features. At the same time, it can be expanded to other types of businesses like chemical or packaging whatsoever. So we also connected our system to external partners through API to give the best-in-class customer journey. As 𝐭𝐻 is one of our most important partners that has fantastic user interface to all stakeholders in construction industry. We would have more and more connection with partners to respond to new trend and the COVID-19 situation. At this point, let me hand it back to 𝐿 again.
Yeah, thank you, Kap. And lastly, what are we doing right now with Big Thailand, Kap? We are collaborating with Big Thailand right now to provide two-sided offering to maximize liquidity to both big customers and suppliers, and to ensure the growth together in the ecosystem. So lastly, 𝐵𝐸𝐶𝐚, we developed a platform and added service for B2B supply chain for partners to have sustainable business growth. We can support financial service for any type of B2B business. If you are looking for financial partners, we will be your answer to bring your growth in your area. Thank you, Kap.
Thank you ครับ Thank you very much ครับ คุณจิรพันธ์พี่อาร์ตของเรานะครับ and ทาจิมิซังครับ Thank you very much. It was a very good team player kind of presentation indeed. I think you have seen starting with Big TH will give you a new way of doing online marketplace that is very lean, very scalable, and very exponential. One of the most exponential business model that we have right now for online. And then later on we talk about adding liquidity to the marketplace itself using 𝐵𝐸𝐶𝐚 technology. You could look at this as financial inclusion to allow everyone, in the ecosystem of our customer and Big TH, for example, to be able to access financial support and to increase the potential of business both on the supply side and demand side. Now, to complete the picture, we need to talk about supply chain because you have the marketplace, you have the demand, you have the supply, you have the liquidity. Now, in order for the value exchange to flow, we need to have efficient supply chain. And cannot be any supply chain, but it has to be the supply chain that fit for the new normal. Let's move on and welcome Khun Phanuvat to the stage on the topic of the new normal of supply chain agility.
Good morning ครับ พี่อาร์ต Can you hear me?
Good morning ครับ we can hear you loud and clear ครับ
Okay.
So my question for you ครับ wondering during the COVID-19 we have seen that most of the industries started to focus on regional and local supply chain in order to cope with the impacts from the pandemic. Will that continue to be the crucial factor under the new normal, even the post-pandemic? Do you see is to going on? And what are the challenges and the advantages of SCG going forward to adopt these kind of new trends? Please go ahead, Kap.
Thank you for your question, Kap. I think earlier this morning, Mr. Datta has touched upon the supply chain issue. Just give me a moment. Okay. The pandemic has certainly affected the global supply chain. And if we look back, I think it can be divided into two stages. The early stage is in 2020. This was when the public and private sector did not know how to react to the pandemic. Many businesses were forced to shut down because they were non-essential business. A lot of the government sectors had to operate on skeletal capacity because of the spread of COVID. There was a slowdown in all parties related to the importation and exportation of goods, causing congestions at the world's major ports. And this is why we're seeing delays in DOF deliveries and shortages of goods in the country. And now we shift to the second stage, which is the reopening of countries around the world, mainly in 2021. We've seen a spike of demands for goods and services around the world, but the supply chain itself that transport these goods are not able to cope with the demands. We've seen a major shortage of containers in the Trans-Pacific route. That's mainly from Asia to the US. And in the context of the Philippines, a delay of 3 to 8 weeks is very common. We've seen a price hike of 20-foot containers from Thailand to the Philippines, going from $300 to $1,900. And in the case of bulk cargoes, we've seen the rates more than doubled in most destinations. So now we have seen that availability of raw materials and intermediate products has become a crucial factor for running a business. And this is where the local and regional supply chain comes in. It shortens the supply chain and increases agility. So a shorter supply chain reduces the chance of delay, and it also increases the adaptability of business to unforeseen events. It also improves the response rates of both sellers and buyers in the market as the products can be delivered instantly. And this is why most of the industries are adapting to the local or regional supply chain. We feel that this will be a new normal for everyone, as the local regional supply chain gives stability to a business. And this is why we've implemented this in the Philippines since 2020. And during the implementation of this, we found that SMEs are most affected by the supply chain disruption. SME have lesser resources to adapt to change because they have lesser manpower and financial means. SMEs are relatively small, defined by having less than 200 employees, but the 99.51% of all companies in the Philippines are considered SMEs. And if you can see from the stack graph on the bottom, over 99% of the companies are either small or micro companies. But these SMEs contribute to over 40% of the Philippines GDP, or about $154 billion. Presented at the top are the top 5 SME industries. Wholesales and retail trade, auto fixing, it accounts for almost 50%. Accommodation and food services, about 31.1%. Manufacturing, 12.7%. Other services, about 1%. And finance and insurance, about 0.34%. We believe that the SMEs are a sizable market, and we can tap into this market if we create enough value for them and we can resolve their pain point. So now let me share a use case. That's how we created value for our SME customers, particularly in the manufacturing sector. So we've been supplying tapioca starch from Thailand to the Philippines in the packaging and food industries for over 15 years. Our service to our clients ends with the sales from Thailand to the Philippines main port. But recently, our customers have been experiencing a lot of cargo shortage and delay. The lead time usually takes about 60 days from placing an order to the delivery of the product, but the lead time now can go up to 90 or 120 days. SMEs in the same industries are facing the same problem, but with additional requirements because they're not able to take full container loads. So the lot size delivery also becomes a pain point. And with these pain points in mind, we've implemented the local supply chain management. So if working from left to right in the supply chain on the supply side, we started offering cornstarch from China and wheat starch from Australia. This can be a substitute for tapioca starch or a cheaper alternative at times due to the seasonality of each of the product. As for freight management, we try to secure container space well ahead of time to prevent further delays. We also provide custom clearance services. This is to minimize the demurrage and storage charge that might occur due to port congestion, which is very common in the Philippines in Manila port. And most importantly, we'll set up a fulfillment center in Manila. This guarantees the availability of the product in the market, and we can also do just-in-time delivery. So the delivery itself has been reduced from 60 days to just 3 days. As for the last mile logistics, we've made it more customized because we're able to offer a more flexible volume. We can now deliver in trailer deliveries to 10-wheelers and 6-wheelers. This will also allow the SMEs to have a leaner inventory and a lower working capital. The other services that we're working on is we're trying to partner up with a local starch manufacturer. One is to increase our product portfolio and to also trying to collaborate with them to utilize our fulfillment center in Manila to increase the supply chain efficiency. Secondly, we're exploring the complementary products that the customer are already using. Those are the likes of spare parts and lubricants. These products can be stocked in our fulfillment center, and it can be consolidated to one delivery to the customer. Lastly, we're still trying to increase our flexibility of the delivery into even smaller vehicles as we can cater to the micro SMEs. So these are the services we are providing, and we hope to see by next year. And in parallel to strengthening our physical supply chain, the next step for SCG International Philippines will be to try to develop an online business. Presented here are 3 business clusters that we're interested in and targeting. Number 1 is the Mro Automotive, focusing mainly on cars and motorcycles. Valuing at $1.6 billion, it is probably the fastest growing sector, considering number of cars and motorcycles currently and to be in the market. We feel that there's an opportunity for us to tap into this both in the physical supply chain, in which we're already serving, and through the online because there's no outstanding player. Secondly is the agribusiness cluster, and we'll focus on the agricultural machinery. Valuing at $0.4 billion, SCG is a very experienced company when dealing with agricultural machinery due to track record when working with Kubota Japan in Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, and Cambodia. We feel that there's still a lot of room for growth for modern farming equipments in the Philippines. And lastly, the HoReCa business, valuing at $7.7 billion, is the biggest business cluster, but probably the most diverse among the 3. So the restaurant sector at the moment, they should pick up once the economy resumes, as well as the hotel sector. We should see some recovery once the Philippines accepts more tourists. And there has also been robust demands online for kitchen supplies and accessories during the pandemic because people were spending so much time at home. And in the Philippines, the lockdown lasted more than 500 days. But we'll focus our SME online business with number 1 and 2. That's the Mro Automotive and agricultural machinery. And surely we'll be facing a lot of challenges, mainly the customer behavior. The SMEs in the Philippines are still accustomed to conventional trade. They are not used to buying products or selling products online. And a B2B platform is not very common, as the online channel in the Philippines focuses on FMCG and lifestyle products. But SCG, we have our own advantage, local presence. So it's been established in the Philippines for more than over 30 years. We have an existing operation that we cater to the food, the packaging, and the construction industry. And we can also leverage our experience with Big Thailand that was presented earlier and try to roll out the platform in the Philippines. And these are some of the values that we hope to create for our SME customers going forward. Thank you, Kap Piat.
Okay, Kap. Thank you, Kap. Thank you very much, Kap. That was very, very succinct, Kap, and very concise presentation. We can see that with agility and forward thinking, we can cope with the situation, and also we get lesson learned and new model of supply chain that we can take it forward and even take advantage of it to make us more efficient in the future as well. So now I would like to turn us to our panelists, finally getting together, the four of us. Now we are moving into the panel discussion. I have 3 questions for each of the companies, of course. But before we start, I would like to thank you for your presentation. It was very clear, to the point, and very tangible. I'm sure that people who are listening to you from home, and including myself, we learn a lot, and we can take some of the lesson learned and adapt to what we are doing after this in next year. But to expand a little bit more on your presentation, I prepared 3 follow-up questions for you. I would like to start with พี่ขวัญคุณรัตนานะครับ. So the question for you at this point is, what are some of the lessons learned or best practices that were coming out of Big TH that all of us can leverage from to help us develop our new business opportunity, new business models going forward, ครับ
Thank you, พี่ Art. Actually, there are just like 3 main points that we found from Big Thailand journey. First one is addressing the right market at the right time. Secondly, winning the great customer experience through that journey. And third is just like awesome team created awesome business. Let me start with the first one first. Addressing the right market at the right time. Actually, in the initial stage of big project, we plan to enter to the market with the 2 verticals, HoReCa and automotive. HoReCa is for sure is the top of the pyramid for SME in Thailand. They're ready for e-commerce already, for online, for all kind of modern market. They're just like ready. But on the other hand, automotive segment is just like quite not ready. There are all of them are still in the traditional way, but they are sizable. So at that time, we decided to starting with automotive first. For sure, it's tough, but finally it is worth to do it because of actually Big View can just like help them and more value to help them to just like get them on the online or modern business in terms of a new economy for the new digital economy. Moreover, not only that, just like can just big that can be value for them, but also just like make the momentum for us in terms of can expand to another new vertical that we never planned before. It's just like agriculture, which is just quite like more potential growth as just like HoReCa for as well. This is the first one. The second one is just like winning the great customer experience through that journey. In Big Thailand, we created the feature by enhanced customer experience by transforming offline to online. So that in our team, we didn't just like not to invent the high technology feature, but we try to create the feature that user happy and help them to easier to finish transaction. For example, just like chat and shop feature. All of our user, they are just like, as I mentioned before, all of them still in the traditional. And because of B2B, they still want to bargain, a little bit bargain. Maybe sometimes it's just like the result that they want or not want, but actually the happiness for buying is just like for bargaining. So that actually, if we just like jump into the high technology, just like chatbot, maybe not just like answer for our user, they still want to high touch with the people. So we developed just like chat and shop by using the online channel that the user prefer, just like Facebook and Line, and let our people to just like on board and just like help them. So that it's just like quite successful for in terms of just like rather develop for the chatbot. So we quite successful for chat and shop. Third one, but actually it should be the 0 to 1 because of we cannot just like come so far with the team. Awesome team will create an awesome business. As a platformer, even though I'm just like quite junior for the platformer, just already 2 years. But anyways, I will say that this is just like another world for me. In terms of in the team, we will just like confront with known the unknown every day. Everything is very dynamic. So that actually with the great team spirit in terms of the growth mindset, we never give up for all obstacles. For example, just like before, just like the channel drop. So that's actually that everything life is go on. So that big cannot come so far without the awesome team. That's just like throw to all of the things that we can learn from big journey. Hope it's just like helpful for other interesting to jump into the modern new marketplace. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kap. So 3 very insightful tips from the CEO herself. Where to enter is the most crucial to start off your marketplace, because what you need in the beginning is the momentum, right? You need to drive the momentum as quickly as possible. The second tip is make sure that the customer happy. It doesn't have to be high-tech day one, but just make sure that they get to use your service and they happy with it. Because it's easier to acquire the customer, but harder to retain them so that you can, create value. And lastly, it's in the team, right? I personally have the, the honor of watching Kun Kularana transforming herself from an SCG International executive to a CEO of a startup. And she did it very well, very motivated. I hope to see you the next unicorn soon,นะครับ.
Okay, thank you,พี่อาร์ตค่ะ
Okay, ครับ so let's move on นะครับ now it's your turn ครับ คุณจิรพันธ์พี่อาร์ตนะครับ and Tajimi-san. The question for you, we have about 10 minutes left, so 3 to 5 minutes is okay. So financial industry has been one of the most disruptive and colorful segments, especially in Thailand, with SCBX, NFT, and everything, right? What is the take of 𝐵𝐥𝐸 with all of this new trend, new technology, new platform that coming out every day? How do you see that? Do you see this as threats or opportunities? What are the strategy of 𝐵𝐥𝐸 going forward? Thank you, Kap. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Kap. Thank you for the question, Kap. For the new technology and technology trends, such as the cryptocurrency or the digital currency from Bank of Thailand, we think that it will help stimulate digital transaction, and it can be beneficial for 𝐵𝐥𝐸, in terms of using the smart contracts and using of the programmable function of digital currency to help improving and controlling of the operation process and settlement of the money. And but this one, it's everyone have to be developing and utilizing it or the ecosystem that this one will help creating for the efficiency of the money settlement. So this is my thinking of the new technology is to be the opportunity for 𝐵𝐸𝐸. And how about you, Kun Tajimi-san?
Yes, sure. So let me add a little bit more color on this topic. I think it's quite obvious that financial industry faces very important moment because of emerging financial technologies and new type of businesses. But in our view, technology is already available and getting common gradually. So the point is how quickly we can adapt. So in this figure, we are not stop exploring the latest trend of technology over the world, leveraging our global network. As one of shareholders of 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐲, 𝐕𝐶's strategic focus is fintech. We have several track record of investment in fintech companies in Europe and Japan, and currently looking for more and more opportunity, especially in B2B lending space. So leveraging such 𝐕𝐶's global network, so far we have connected several fintech companies in China and Singapore to 𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 in order to enhance our fintech capabilities. And we continue to introduce cutting-edge technologies in terms of financial modeling with AI or machine learning kind of things. So then 𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 could adopt the most competitive technology and ensure the sustainable growth with our customers and partners. So that is our view. Thank you.
Thank you, Kap.
Okay, thank you both, Kap. So, Khun Chirapan mentioned smart contract as a way to, even make it more efficient and reduce the costs. I think it was a very good point. You don't just pick up the new technology because it's new, but you need to be very clear why you want or why you don't want any new technologies. And he hit the nail on the head that it's not about the technology or the feature of the technology. It's more about the ecosystem, right? That's the key words for the new normal. If you want to pick up some technology or adopt new technologies, it should be because you want to build or strengthen your ecosystems, right? And then for Thajimi-san, I think he said, start with the customer, don't start with the technology, understand exactly what they want and whether they want to use your new technology, and then you cannot go wrong there. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. And last one from Thajimi-san that's very important too is connecting the dots. You don't need to build all the technology by yourself. Sometimes it's cheaper, faster, and more efficient to work with someone else, be the vendors, the open source communities, or even the startups. Thank you very much, Kap. Now I would like to move on to our last question, last but definitely not least. Khun Panuwat, Kap, given the regional supply chain focus as we discussed during your presentation, what that means for SCG present in the neighborhood countries, and also what is in your mind? What's new? What are we going to do coming up next year in all the countries around Thailand?
Yes, thank you for the question. I think apart from trying to develop the online business, as I presented earlier, I think we'll still try to focus on our physical supply chain and maybe expand into other businesses, particularly the MRO business, because it covers a wide range of products from spare parts, accessories, machineries to lubricants. We would also like to be an aggregator for the SMEs. This means that we would like to consolidate the small demands of common products of the SMEs and use those volume to negotiate with the supplier to increase our bargaining power. So in the case, for example, SME trucking fleet, and hopefully they don't electrification of trucking fleets in the Philippines soon. Trucking fleets will use diesel engine oil. Maybe 5 trucks, they will need to use 200 liters and they need to change it every 2 to 3 months. If we're able to consolidate 5 to 10 trucking fleets, the volume itself goes up to 1,000 or 2,000 liters every 2 to 3 months. And we can use this to negotiate with the supplier for a more competitive price. And we can expand our service to stocking these products for the customer in our fulfillment center, and the delivery can be on demand. I think this sort of service can be extended to any products that are common to our SMEs, and can also be implemented with any business clusters, whether it's going to be food, packaging, or MRO or agribusiness. And we feel that this is a sizable opportunity for us to work on next year.
Thank you very much, Kap. A very good point from you. The online to offline, at this point, it's not just an optional, it's a must, because online means flexibility, agility with the challenges that we cannot foresee, and the offline means face-to-face kind of personal touch. Diversifying business into new segment like MRO is also a good idea to cope with the uncertainty. And the last one is using technology to create bargaining power or economy of scale by aggregating demands, help supporting SME, smaller customer, as well as giving us that bargaining power that you talk about. Thank you very much, all our 4 distinguished panelists. I definitely learned a lot from this morning, and definitely will take some of your advice and try to use it as well. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been enjoying session. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and I hope to see you in person soon. Thank you, Now I would like to turn the stage back to our smart MC. Please go ahead, Thank you.
So please scan the QR code on the screen. We have some short questionnaires that you can answer and then give some feedbacks, comments. You can do it now or later on after the screen is ended. Okay, you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right. Thank you so much. Until we meet you guys again next year, stay safe, take care, have a wonderful weekend. สวัสดีครับ Bye.
We are seeing growing momentum around the world among governments, private business, and individuals towards carbon neutrality and net zero. We all want to leave a cleaner planet for our future generations, and hence we must act now. SCG is strongly committed towards sustainability. Our EV solution platform will drive and accelerate the speedier conversion towards smart and clean mobility.
EV Solution Platform is a one-stop service under the Smart Clean Mobility concept that allows partners to run their business worry-free at an affordable cost. The platform covers 3 areas: focusing on finished product with battery safety as the priority. Local production, for example, EV bus semi-knockdown unit assembly line and electric vehicle conversion are manufactured domestically. Maintenance and spare parts service. Charging station. Logistics operation service. And IT platform development. For a seamless connection between service and solution, making users more convenient and confident when transitioning into electric vehicles. Customized business models from rental service, sales package, to logistics provider service for products or employees, with vehicle incident insurance type 1 and battery product liability insurance. Our one-stop service creates an EV ecosystem that offers worry-free solutions at an affordable cost for our partners. It is also environmentally friendly as electric vehicles emit less carbon dioxide and PM2.5, resulting in a better quality of life.
I would like to invite all our partners and stakeholders to join us in this exciting journey. We're passionate towards delivering smart, clean mobility to our customers. We will do this, we will make this happen by engaging with all of you in a spirit of trust. And most importantly, we will grow together.
SCG International, trusted international business partner.
ชื่อลาลานาเลิศพฤกษ์นะคะก็เป็น CEO Co-founder ของ Big Thailand Marketplace ค่ะ Big Thailand จริงๆอะค่ะเราเกิดขึ้นมาจากเราคือ subsidiary ของ SCG International วันหนึ่งเราเข้าใจเลยว่า1สิ่งนี้ทำไม SME ในเมืองไทยค่ะถึงยังไปเติบโตต่างประเทศที่เราเห็นนะทำไมยังไม่ได้นะย้อนกลับมาดูก็คือ SME มันก็ short life cycle การเข้าใจในการบริบทในการทำธุรกิจจริงๆในเชิงของเทคนิคหรือยิ่งณปัจจุบัน e-commerce มันปฏิเสธไม่ได้ว่าทุกคนก็ต้องทำแต่ประเด็นคือด้วยarm length ของ SME อะค่ะมันจะไปไม่สุดเราในฐานะ SCG อะค่ะสิ่งที่เราอยากทำก็คือว่าเราอยากให้สังคมนี้มันโกรธแล้วก็เติบโตไปด้วยกันในเชิงของ know how เทคโนโลยีพวกนี้มีทำไมเราจะไม่เป็นคนกลางที่เป็นที่น่าเชื่อถือสิ่งที่ถามว่าทำไม marketplace อะค่ะ B2C เกิดขึ้นมากมายในเมืองไทย B2B ทำไมยังไม่มีเพราะว่าตัวกลางอะค่ะ marketplace ที่ไว้ใจได้จริงๆอะมันยังไม่เกิดเพราะฉะนั้น Big Thailand นะคะเราถึงสร้างขึ้นมาตรงนี้เพื่อเป็นตัวกลางที่น่าเชื่อถือของทั้ง seller แล้วก็ buyer ได้มีโอกาสได้มาพบเจอกันใน community ecosystem ที่เชื่อถือได้และมี efficiency
ด้วยความร่วมมือจาก4บริษัท SCG International, SCG Trading, 𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐴 𝐻 และ 𝐸𝗏𝑑 by CBM Digital Business พบกับ Smart Credit สินเชื่อรู้ดีรู้ใจบริการให้เครดิตรูปแบบใหม่สำหรับผู้รับเหมาครั้งแรกในวงการวัสดุก่อสร้างช่วยลดความเสี่ยงหนี้ศูนย์ให้กับร้านเพิ่มโอกาสการขายและยังมีวงเงินเหลือเพื่อขยายธุรกิจผู้รับเหมายังได้รับอนุมัติวงเงินจากข้อมูลหน้างานจริงพร้อมรับเงินคืน 0.5% และไม่มีค่าธรรมเนียมในการใช้อีกด้วยเริ่มจากทางร้านส่งข้อมูลผู้รับเหมาให้ Smart Credit หลังจากนั้น Smart Credit จะส่งผลการประเมินกลับให้ร้านขณะเดียวกันก็จะแจ้งผลให้ผู้รับเหมาทราบผ่านแอปพลิเคชันในมือถือเช่นกันผู้รับเหมาสามารถสั่งจ่ายค่าสินค้าผ่านแอปพลิเคชันโดย Smart Credit จะทำการจ่ายเงินให้กับร้านใน 3-5 วันและเมื่อครบกำหนดผู้รับเหมาก็จะชำระเงินให้กับ Smart Credit ต่อไป Smart Credit สินเชื่อรู้ดีรู้ใจเริ่มเปิดบริการต้นปี 2562